I think Kikkuyu has a really good role to play for a lot of producers on the island. We often have long dry summers, we've got reasonably light sandy soils, we do have big problems with wind erosion, so if you've got a summer active perennial where you can get close to 100% ground cover, it's going to stop that soil from drifting and blowing. We often get our opening rains, can be quite intense rainfall events, so we have problems with a lot of water erosions, particularly on our sloping country. So again, if you've got that Kikkuyu cover, it's going to stop that water erosion from happening. We're very concerned about turbidity in our creeks, and even being an island, we're very close to our sea, and we're having problems with seagrass loss in our bays due to excess nutrients. So if we can keep those nutrients back on our farmland, it's making more money for the farmer and it's stopping those nutrients from running down into the sea. We have problems with salinity, so anything that can be using up more water stops that water from getting down to the water table and blowing out our salinity problems. So it's got a myriad of environmental benefits and it's got some great production benefits. We've actually done quite a bit of trial work over here looking at its feed quality and quantity compared to annual pastures. Basically outperforms annual pastures in nearly all attributes. So we're getting better wool production, better sheep growth, certainly getting a green pick in summer is great for the vitamin E, better management of worms and a whole lot of stock issues. So from a farming point of view, they're better off production-wise. The environment is better off from the erosion and nutrient point of view. I think it's a great plant and everyone should actually just try that little bit. It's not something that you want to put over 100% of your property and it's not going to work on all properties, but if people are keen, it's worth just putting in the ram's paddock and just see how it goes. Over here we're probably looking at 20, 30, 40% of the farm to Kikkuyu, and then having a mix of other perennials and annuals would then make a really robust farming system.
We're actually planting it on not what I would have thought traditionally they'd say Kikkuyu. We're putting it all on our hilly country, so we've got some undulating country here, and that's where it washes and silts our dams up. We're getting no erosion, and when we had the opening rain here, the water that washed down into the dam was all clean. This year we've had weaners, merino weaners on a Kikkuyu, rotating them on, it would be about say 60 hectares, and we would have been feeding about twice as much as what we would have been if they were on traditional dry pastures, and they seem to be twice as much condition better. We're shearing them next week, so I'll be interested to see how they come off. I think that's going to be a good story.
Benefits of Kikkuyu for me are that I can offload my perennials and let them survive without just grazing them to death through the summer. I can stock sandy paddocks that you couldn't stock at the rates I'm stocking them at without doing really bad damage to them. My clover seed set, they don't get to that because it's underneath the thatch of the kike, so as soon as you have an opening rain you've got a huge amount of clover coming up through it. I've had no indications that it'll spread into tree lines or anything like that. It goes so far back into the root line and then it just stops through lack of daylight and lack of moisture. Actually increasing the fertility of the paddocks, I think, because they don't drift, they'll get higher wool yields, and just general stock health. They've got a green pick all the time. It saves me giving them vitamin E. They're getting more minerals because the root system goes down deeper. It's like a haystack in the paddock.